Hello and welcome, everyone. In this video, I will show you how to deploy the Bold Reports report server in Google Kubernetes Engine Services with Ingress. The Bold Reports report server is a reporting platform designed for creating, managing, and delivering interactive reports. It lets you embed reports into web applications and manage access through role-based permissions. It can be deployed on Windows, Linux, Docker, or cloud platforms. To learn more about Bold Reports, you can visit boldreports.com. To try Bold Reports, you can start a 30-day free trial by clicking the Try It Free option. If you want a demo from an expert, you can schedule a call by clicking the Request Demo button. Now, let me get back to deploying the server. To deploy the Bold Reports report server, you need the following hardware: a CPU with 2 or more cores and minimum 4 GB of RAM memory. The software requirements are a database like Microsoft SQL Server, PostgreSQL, or MySQL, a command line tool like kubectl or AWS CLI, a web browser like Microsoft Edge, Mozilla Firefox, or Google Chrome. Now let's start the deployment. I download the highlighted deployment files from Bold Reports Kubernetes GitHub repository. A link to the repository is in the description below. I am using Visual Studio Code in this demo, but you can use your editor of choice. The file called deployment contains the configuration to create and manage the pods using a replica set. Configuration in HPA is used to automatically increase or decrease the number of pods in response to the workload's CPU or memory consumption. Ingress contains the configuration for controlling the traffic routing and exposes HTTP and HTTPS routes from outside the cluster to services within the cluster. log4net_config contains configuration settings that are used to view the application logs in your Kubernetes console or store the needed logs in a file. Namespace contains configuration that will be helpful when different teams or projects share a Kubernetes cluster. pvclaim GKE contains the configuration for where it will provide the information for the file system. Finally, service provides a single point of entry for accessing 1 or more pods. I have already created the Kubernetes cluster to which I will deploy Bold Reports. The next step is to connect with the GKE cluster. So I open PowerShell and navigate to the folder where I have downloaded the deployment files. I run this command to authenticate Google Cloud. I open the Google Cloud Kubernetes page and connect the cluster. Then I copy the command and run it in PowerShell. Now the cluster is connected. Next, I will deploy the Nginx Ingress controller. Now I need to configure the file storage for the pods. I have created a Google File Store instance to store the shared folder for application usage. I make a note of the file share name and IP address, which will be used in the next step. Next, I open the pvclaim GKE file and add the file share name with the prefix as the NFS path value. I add the file share IP address as the NFS server value. Then, I run this command to create a namespace for Bold Reports. Here, Bold Services is my namespace. Next, I run this command to create the config map. In this demo, I'm going to deploy the report server using an Ingress IP address. If you'd like to set up the report server with a domain, then you can directly add the domain name and TLS secret name in the TLS and rules sections in the ingress.yaml file. By default, the application will be hosted in non-SSL mode. If I want to configure SSL, I need to add the domain and SSL configuration in the ingress.yaml file. Before configuring SSL, I need to create the TLS secret with the SSL certificate by running this command. Here, Bold Reports TLS is the secret name. This indicates the path for the .pem file and the .crt file. You should use your domain SSL certificate. I run this command to apply the Bold Reports Ingress and get the IP address of the Nginx Ingress. Run this command until you get an Ingress IP address. Once we have the IP address, we need to map it with the DNS I added in the ingress.yml file. Here I am going to deploy the application using the IP address. Next, I open the deployment.yml file and replace the DNS or Ingress IP address in the application base URL. If you want to use optional client libraries from third-party data sources like MySQL, Oracle, and PostgreSQL, then you need to install them while deploying the report server. If you want to install more than one client library, then separate them with commas. I specify MySQL, Oracle, PostgreSQL, Snowflake, and Google BigQuery. Then, I apply the configuration in pvclaim by running this command. It creates a persistent volume and persistent volume claim. I apply the configuration in the deployment file by running this command. It creates and manages pods with the specified number of replicas with the provided image. Next, I apply the configuration in HPA_GKE by running this command. It sets up autoscaling for the Kubernetes horizontal pod autoscaler. And then I create all the services by running this command. You can see the services are created. Once all the deployment files are applied, I need to check the pod status. To do that, I run this command. We have to wait until all the pods are running. Let me run the command again. See, all the pods are running. I open the browser and navigate to the DNS or IP address in the deployment.yml file to start the application. As you can see, the Bold Reports Enterprise Server startup page has loaded. On the administration page, I fill in the required fields and click Next to proceed to the database configuration mode. The first option is Shared Database Mode. In this mode, all tenants share a single database with data logically separated using unique identifiers. This approach optimizes resource utilization, reduces infrastructure costs, and simplifies maintenance while maintaining data segregation. The second option is Separate Database Mode. In this mode, every tenant has its own dedicated database, so that data is separated. This improves security, allows independent management, and enhances performance for each tenant. I choose the Separate Database Mode and click Next to go to the database configuration page. The Bold ID database stores information about sites, users, and their access permissions. The Bold Reports database stores reports, users, and their resource access permissions. You can choose between two configuration modes. Simple Mode configures a single database for both Bold ID and Bold Reports. Advanced Mode configures separate databases for Bold ID and Bold Reports. I proceed with default Simple Mode. You can choose from Microsoft SQL Server / Azure SQL, PostgreSQL, MySQL, or Oracle databases. Here I select the default server type Microsoft SQL Server / Azure SQL. Based on this selection, the form will refresh, displaying fields related to the chosen database. I fill the necessary fields. Then I need to choose a new or existing database from the selected server. By default, New Database is selected. I enter Bold Services Kubernetes as the database name. You can modify the database schema, ID table prefix, and server tables prefix values if needed. These prefixes will appear in your table names within the database. Enabling SSL provides a secure connection between the report server application and database, encrypting the data. I proceed with the default values and click Next to open the account activation page. There are 3 options available to activate an account. If you have a Bold Reports account, you can activate it by using Login to Activate. If you are working in a secure environment without access to an external server, you can activate the account using the Upload License File option. If you don't have a Bold Reports account, you can proceed with a 30-day trial. Since I have a Bold Reports account, I log in to activate it. If you have multiple licenses, it will ask you to select one. If you have only one license, this will be skipped. On the Reports page, sample reports that were already integrated into the report server can be added. I click a report, and it opens in a new window. In this video, I have shown you how to install the Bold Reports report server on Google Kubernetes service using Ingress, and how to then view a report on it. If you found this video useful, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.